In a world where the podcast multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little, two dudes must become something greater than themselves, something elemental, something terrifying, a podcast. With great podcasting, there must also be great responsibility. To show the multiverse that it's full of people ready to believe in good. The multiverse will hunt us. They will send the dogs on us, because that's what needs to happen. But it won't be ready to hear from us. Not us, united. Dude, I think it's time. You want to know what time it is?
I don't know what time it is. Can you tell me what time it is? I don't have my watch on me.
Well, you were just asking, you were like, Nick, do you know what the best movie ever made of all time was? And I was like, are you talking about 2017's Power Rangers? And you're like, that's exactly the movie I was talking about. What a weird...
This is strange that you exactly said word for word our exact conversation that we had at literally 5 minutes ago.
And you were like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is the best movie ever made. And I was like, that's crazy that you think that. Gosh. But I agree.
With yourself?
No, with you.
Oh.
You said it was the best.
Oh, God.
I was like, wow, you want to talk about one of the best movies ever made? All right, sure, we can talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I today am in the presence of probably one of the largest, biggest Power Rangers fans I know. And his name is Nicholas Kruzich.
Boom.
And today we will be talking about Power Rangers 2017. And I'm just going to let Nick.
Did you forget who I was? It's like, I'm not even like trying to take it personally, but it's also like, who the hell else would it be?
Sorry.
It's fine. We were talking about Chris earlier, so it makes sense.
All good things.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. Shouts to Chris.
Shout out to Chris. My guy.
Nick.
Yeah. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I'm just gonna let you take over.
You told me that.
Just like do whatever you want with this episode. I'm gonna be like, this is my thoughts. I'm gonna say my thoughts. It was better than Hot Garbage, and that surprised me, and I liked it. And you can take the floor.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the another episode in our movies we love. Typically, the way we grade these movies they are flawed, but for some reason, and we will explain why in this series, we don't care, and we think that this movie's still amazing.
We brackets Nick.
Yeah. Since we are a two-person podcast, there will probably be not always 100% mutual feelings on the exact same movie, but it's still a series about movies that we love. This was the Power Rangers movie that needed to be made. It was the one that bridged it from not just being a kids movie to maybe being a little bit more like, what would high schoolers actually act like if they were to be Power Rangers? And it's typically not, let's all wear our colors to school so that people are like, whoa, that's weird. You guys are always wearing red, yellow, pink, blue, and black.
They still do that in this movie.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do. But they wear, like, American Eagle versions of it instead of just, like, I'm blatantly wearing a solid blue shirt. Or I'm wearing a beanie that isn't yellow. Or, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Anyway. That's not the reason why I like this movie. I probably shouldn't have started off that way. A little more angsty. A little more adult, a little more violent. There's a little more stakes. This just felt like, they took it up a notch. And I'm really bummed out because they got some amazing talent, and then I think they're going to reboot it again now.
Yeah.
And this one I feel like had enough heart to it that it was very much a part one kind of movie. That I thought it should at least deserve a second part to just be like, now that they're Power Rangers, now go do some stuff.
Yeah, it felt part one in that like, oh, now we have the established Power Rangers, but it didn't feel part one and like, oh,
There's still finality to this movie.
I didn't like get a ending to this movie.
Right.
Um,
They spend enough time making you care about these characters because this is a 2+ hour Power Rangers movie, which is kind of wild when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
It's not typically,
For a
its
30
source
minute
material is like a 20-minute show where they fight them, they lose, they turn into Megazords,
and they win.
So this is the same plot, but extended out over 2 hours.
Now, Nick, where does this fascination with Power Rangers come from?
Oh, dude.
I've opened up the can of
I don't know if I've ever
Zordon's
told you,
box.
have I?
No.
Okay.
I know you like Power Rangers.
Yeah, so Power Rangers were like the action figure of my childhood. I would get rewarded for doing like nice things, and then I would get like a new character, or I'd get like one of the putties, which is one of the bad guys in this movie. That's what the rock guys are.
Okay.
In the show, they're just like gray spandex wearing masked guys.
Got it.
And if you ever hit them in their chest, they explode.
Sick.
And so in the action figure you would click the middle and all the limbs would pop off.
Okay, that's sick.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah. If I had that toy, I would be a fan too.
Yeah, it'd be great. They were very merchandise heavy IP. But it looked, just like the show and everything. I remember that I got injured very badly. I like slammed my head on like a window seal.
Oh.
I slipped off of I was standing up on something and slipped and hit my head and like scarred my eyebrow really bad. And it required stitches. And I remember when I was getting stitches, my parents were like, "If you can get through this, we'll get you a new Megazord."
Sick.
Never have I been stronger in my life. No, it was like one of those where I was like squirming, and they because they had to do like stitches in my eyebrow, they had to strap me down because I was like a squirmy kid and stuff.
So how old were you?
It was actually very traumatic. It was like I was like 5 or 6.
Oh wow.
But in the end, I got the White Falcon to add to my Mighty Morphin Megazord, and so now it could fly. It had the wings, because
worth every stitch.
Because the pterodactyl in the show actually just became the head.
Yeah.
So the winged thing was just the head, and so then when Tommy Oliver joined the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the
we all know,
the White Ranger, he had a couple Zords, but one of them was the Falcon, which was from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, where they take on Ivan Ooze. We all know this story.
Man, if I've heard this story, I've heard it 1,000 times.
Where they all get their like animal spirit version of their Megazord, which changes because they were the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where they were like prehistoric,
right?
So everything was like T-Rex. What was it? Saber-toothed tiger, pterodactyl, other stuff, Triceratops, Mastodon.
Mastodon.
It was like a big mammoth. In the movie, in order to switch merchandising and then also give them like a story arc, they lose their like power to morph, and so they have to get new powers. Oh. And so they all get new animals that their Zords turn into. And so instead of the red Tyrannosaurus Rex, he gets the red ape. The Triceratops turns into the wolf. The saber-toothed tiger turns into the bear. Mastodon turns into a frog, and he gets bummed out about it.
Yeah, what the heck?
And then he has a great scene. I think Zach is his name or something. Has a scene where he's like, "I'm just the frog," and they're like, "Yeah, but the frog ends up being both of the legs of the Megazord. How you getting around without the frog?"
Ribbit, my guy.
Boom, ribbit. Anyway, so I had that Megazord. Loved all that stuff. That was way longer than you guys needed to know about it.
This is all I wanted to know.
But then there was a second wave of kind of Power Rangers, because like after that was kind of like, okay, and then they did like more seasons where they became like Space Rangers and all that stuff, and that's when I kind of like started to distance myself because I was getting older. But then I had, my mom had my brother when I was like 10 years old, so then when he got to be about 3 or 4, he started watching shows, so I'm like at 14, 15, round 2 with the Power Rangers. And I got way back into it when we watched, I think the season was Jungle Fury, where they were like, I love how much you're like, oh, yeah, I think so. It's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah, Jungle Fury.
Jungle Fury. They're all kind of like animal, whatever. I don't know. There tends to kind of be a theme. Sometimes they're dinosaurs. Sometimes they're ninjas. Sometimes they're whatever. But, and then this was when I was like, this is my favorite Ranger of all time.
Whoa.
And
whoa, wait, which one?
Well, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm getting into it.
Oh, this is spicy, folks.
Jungle Fury. They have a sensei that kind of like teaches them their stuff. His name's RJ.
Of course.
And they all kind of have like animal spirits in them, and his is the wolf, but like it just kind of goes untalked about for like half the season. Well, when the Rangers are in like dire need, he realizes maybe I need to use my spirit as well. Like I've taught these guys, but I've never had like the morpher and like done all the stuff.
Sure.
Dude straight up turns into the Purple Wolf Ranger. Oh, it's the cleanest.
You're kidding.
The cleanest outfit. Dude, I love how much you're entertaining me right now. It's so good. Cleanest outfit. Cleanest character. And just straight up slays.
Oh.
Purple Wolf Ranger for the win. Love it.
Is this where your favorite color of purple comes in, or is this?
I'm not going to say that it does, but I'm not going to say that it doesn't.
All right.
I mean, hey. If I were to be a Purple Ranger, your boy's happy.
Your boy's a wolf.
But there's also like there's some partiality to red typically is the leader.
Okay.
And then what ends up happening like halfway through each season is that like a silver, a platinum, a gold, like a weird like
random color
shiny version comes in and usually murks like everyone and is like the top tier ranger, but never is like the leader. So you can always be like one of those guys too.
Yeah.
Those guys are pretty sick.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Man, that was a journey.
I love it. It's just
where's Power Rangers currently? Is there a show right now on?
I think so. I think Netflix might have most of the seasons.
Oh, cool.
Or some of the seasons. But yeah, it's
so
like 20 plus seasons going.
Sick. My brief history with Power Rangers.
Yes.
Is I did dress up as a Power Ranger for Halloween.
See,
let's go.
You've done more than I have.
Let's just say I was a Blue Ranger. I think I don't remember.
Let's just say maybe.
I think I was a Power Ranger. I was definitely a Power Ranger. I don't know.
Anyway,
but I know I don't know the old stuff, but I do know Ninja Force. I caught the end of Ninja Force. Okay. I had a Game Boy Advanced Ninja Force game.
Sick.
And then my main one is Dino Force.
Dino Force, not Dino Thunder.
Not Dino. Oh, no, Dino Thunder. It was Dino Thunder.
Okay, that's when Tommy
Power
Oliver
Rangers
comes back.
Dino Thunder.
That's when Tommy comes back as the Black Ranger to teach them.
Yes. Oh. And there was like 3 of them. It was just the red, blue, and yellow. Yep. That was it.
That was always a clean team lineup when they just did the 3.
Yeah.
And then they always needed like a 4th person to help them out.
Yeah, and that was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy.
So Tommy Oliver was like, he was the iconic. They did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then there was the arc of the evil Green Ranger that came in, and that was Tommy. He was possessed by Rita Repulsa.
Oh.
And they like got her.
So this is pretty similar to the movie.
Kind of.
Huh.
I kind of want to talk about the implications of that, but when Tommy gets unpossessed, they gain him as the Green Ranger, and he always still looked dope because all of them had a uniform that looked the same, but he had that like gold shoulder plate thing that made him different. But then he also, after doing that, he realized, I don't want to wear the evil I don't want to be the evil ranger still. And the green was always evil. And so he becomes the white tiger ranger. It was pretty sick. And he gets like this cool like cane sword thing he gets. Yeah. All the merch. I mean, dude. I mean, it's selling you toys, but at the same time, it's like, but you guys look so swag. I'm in.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Oliver is basically like the legacy ranger. He's like shown up in multiple seasons. He's become the Red Ranger in some seasons, and then he becomes like the mentor in later seasons, to the point where that actor is making his own fan fiction Power Rangers movie right now
Oh.
called The White Dragon, and they're going to make it like rated R.
What?
And it's going to be like an adult version of Power Rangers.
Okay, so that's sick.
Anyway.
Do you remember a few years prior to this movie, it's 2015 or so, there was that short film of like, kind of like, have you not seen this?
I don't know. Describe it to
It's
me.
like 15 minutes. It's like an R-rated, edgy Power Rangers short film.
Oh, maybe.
It was unlicensed.
But does it have him in it?
No.
Oh.
It was just like, hey, these are the Power Rangers, but like they stab
What
each
if
other.
they could, like, kill people?
Yeah, and they're like, and there's like I think there's nudity in it. I don't know, but like it's like a little more risque and whatever.
Oh, I'm
but
sure
like,
there's a bunch of that probably exists. Where
but
it's
like it
all
was
the
like
fans.
really, really popular. And it was like 15 minutes. It was like, and like Rita was in there, but she was like murdering people. It was like, wow. It was like very much
Interesting.
aggressive. So like a lot of people think that kind of helped the rebirth into this a little bit more adult version of this 2017.
The comic book has taken off too. Marvel has them in comics now.
Cool, I didn't know that.
And there's it's called the Shattered Grid, where it's a multiverse of Power Rangers.
Sick.
And basically one of the evil Rangers gets basically the ability to be both the white and the green Ranger, and then he goes on and just kind of like leads the evil through all of them. Kind of like a what if Ultron episode, but White Ranger. White Green Ranger, and just goes off. So it's like all the Rangers have to like assemble from all the universes to beat him.
That's sick.
So
Are you currently reading it, or
no? I have like the first
edition issue?
Not first edition, but yeah, like the first issue through like the 5th issue in like a graphic
Oh
novel.
yeah, it's like a collection. Yeah, the first few the volume 1 or whatever.
But it's pretty good. Like it can kind of be a little more adult because they are like beyond
older.
high school, like kind of in this college age. So I think they can start to tackle some of those things instead of like we just need to recycle or like like
Captain Planet.
Like there's always that.
I think one
stuff.
of the stronger suits of this movie is that they like treat them as actual teenagers. Like they're kind of like a little rough
if it
around
went
the edges.
full cheese, it would have been I think a harder sell.
Because like I think an hour and a half of this movie is kind of like rough Breakfast Club teenagers, and then the last 30 minutes is like, oh, this is just a Power Rangers episode at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I liked the movie.
Agreed. Yeah,
I think it's fun.
It's hard to know like what exactly I would change because I do think it captures the whole essence of like it almost did it more authentic. Like this feels like an authentic
There's a heart to it.
Modern tale of
I don't know. I think this might be the best it could be, honestly. Like it just feels like because like how are you gonna get like a 10 out of 10 power? Because it's gonna be silly. It has to be silly at some point because you got to say it's Morphin Time. You know?
And they tried to do that. They toe the line a little bit with it. I think Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa maybe would be the only thing that I would like reconsider.
That is true. Yeah.
But I think like as a whole, they just go all in on it, and it's like she's just crazy.
Yeah, I think that is entirely true because like rewatching this movie today, I was like, this is really good. I really like this, but Rita, not the best.
Yeah, but if you look at what Rita was in the show,
kind of this overtop,
pretty
like,
much
cackling
what
villain.
it is.
Yeah,
you know, like, but I do like. There's something important that they do in the first scene of this movie, which is established that there were Rangers before, and that Zordon.
Oh, so that's canon.
I don't know.
Oh,
it wasn't in the show. I don't know.
Okay,
at least that I know of. That Zordon was the Red Ranger of his team, and that the Green Ranger, which they don't even have in this movie, because Rita
is the Green
Ranger, was part of his team, and she just went evil, you know, which is sick because she was able to create the Green Ranger in the show. So I do like what they did with that. I also like that they had Bryan Cranston in this movie because the character of the Blue Ranger, Billy Cranston, is actually an homage to Bryan Cranston because the creator of Power Rangers is good friends with Bryan Cranston in real life.
Nice.
So the Blue Ranger was always named after Cranston anyway. So him being in this is just like an acknowledgement of like, I know it's a cheesy fandom.
Here we
but
are.
The Blue Ranger is kind of named after me.
Yeah.
So here I am, and
Yeah.
I'm Zordon, which I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Way to just lean in, because like he was at this time in 2017. I mean, it wasn't
right after Breaking Bad, but it was still like
it was close enough that he was like up there.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like you're gonna do that. But I mean, they got some cool actors for this. They got Bill Hader for Alpha 5, and then I still think like Elizabeth Banks is a very talented individual, and so like I just think they decided to go full crazy, and God bless her, she leaned into it.
she went to it, yeah.
And the Power Rangers,
I honestly think they're perfect.
I'm sorry, I'm not even being audible. I'm not making because I'm just like
I'm
it's
sorry.
just so beautiful.
Let me paint a picture for you. But Nick is like when you eat just a good pizza pie. That's what Nick looks like right now.
Yeah, exactly. This had it's either Dacre or Dacker Montgomery.
Yeah.
I forget what they call him. I don't know how he like kind of pronounces it a little bit quicker than
Dacre?
Dacre Montgomery.
Hey, Dacre Montgomery.
Before he was Billy in Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was doing some of his other stuff. So this was kind of like an interesting choice for him to be like, wait, you're just going to lean in and be the Red Ranger?
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah.
Killed it. And I think everyone else was casted very well, but I think they picked a great Red Ranger for its purposes of what it proves for the team. I think the other two that they did a really good job specifically were for Billy and Kimberly.
100%.
Because Billy is supposed to be kind of the nerd, but like the heart of the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimberly is supposed to be kind of the spunky cheerleader, but
Take her in a different
she's
direction.
got an edge to her that she has to kind of like overcome, and I just like they nailed it. I think with Zach and Trini, it's kind of like
they're definitely less focused on.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of like touching on their like human like lives and whatnot. But like anyway, so cast great, loved it. I love the aesthetic as well. Like I know, okay, so the only two gripes that I have about this film are we don't get to see the suits enough, and that Rita Repulsa was maybe just like not
the best.
But I don't know if I would have changed not having Rita in this, because I do love the fact that she was the Green Ranger, and it now gives us a chance that Tommy could come into the fold, and the end credit scene of this film actually hints at Tommy Oliver showing up. And it's hinted at that Tommy's a girl, so they would gender swap Tommy, which would also be kind of neat to be like
another girl.
It would have to have like which Rita, maybe that's kind of what the Green Ranger is supposed to be anyway. But anyway, I think that would have been kind of neat to explore, because it's like, oh, you're gonna be sick because it's gonna be like this dark emerald green, and you're gonna have a dope sword that we didn't get to see. They were just building up for some good shit, and I was like, I really want a sequel.
This movie really does deserve a series. Like I think there's a heart to this movie that really like as a huge fan you are, like it honors the source material, but like it's good. Like it's solid. It's probably as best as like being handling this material as it could be, and like I want to see more of this. Like I like the cast, I like the world, I like this. It's silly but serious, and it just works.
Agreed. One of the things I really like was when Zordon's letting them know, here's how you be a Power Ranger. The three things that he tells them are like, never use your power for selfish gain. 2, never escalate a fight until you have to. Which is like so easy to sleep on that line, but it's like exactly what Power Rangers do. They show up in the show and they won't fight morphed. They'll just fight, and then they'll get their ass kicked, and they're like, it's Morphin Time.
It's Morphin Time.
Then they escalate the fight, and they morph, and then they fight until they get their ass kicked, and then they turn large, or they'll win, and then the thing will morph, and then they're like, now it's time to escalate to the Megazord. And it's just like, dude, yes. Dude, I did, like, you know what you're talking about, my guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't escalate the fight. Oh, they never do. but they'll show up when you go there. Freaking love it.
That's amazing. I didn't even catch any of that.
The other thing, while my only two complaints, like I said, were Rita and it took time to get to them being Power Rangers. But the reasons that those things are in here, I wouldn't change them.
Yeah.
Because you get this beautiful development, especially in like Kimberly.
Yeah.
To be like, I think I'm the reason why we can't morph.
Yeah.
And then they have this really cool moment where basically like they all become friends by like repenting of like wrongdoings, and they're just like, you know what, we just need to accept each other because we're all broken, and if we can just accept and trust in one another, that like we're still accepted in each other's eyes, we can be a team.
Yeah. The best scene in this movie is that fireplace scene. Like when they're just talking, be like, yo, I kind of suck.
Yep.
Or like, this is my problem. Like Zach is like, I'm taking care of my mom, and so, and then like, yeah, having like these characters that are just like faulty and human, and not like, man, every time I punch a bad guy, he goes blah. You know, it's like, it's not, it's handles the silliness, but also is like has a heart to it, where you feel like, yeah, this is a real person who is on screen right now. Yeah. And that campfire scene is really great. Yeah. And like having them be like, you have to morph in order to do Morphin Time. I don't know. Yeah. Like you have to like know each other to truly morph. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And I think like they're all feeling like they just need some approval. Yeah. And it's kind of neat because it's also the underlying story is like, it is Zordon, even though he's 65 million years old, is kind of like a boomer. And then you have like the millennial like Power Rangers. So you have that dilemma of like, well, back in our day, we could just morph because we were freaking good at it. Right. Well, great. That doesn't help me out that much, Zordon.
Because I can't do it right now.
Yeah. And so like there's this level of like, you also need to like learn about us. And so Zordon doesn't actually like, doesn't end up being like the righteous character. Yeah. He has flaws too.
Well, it's insane because like his whole plan is like, I'm gonna get back to life whenever they morph,
and then I'll kill him. Yeah, I'll kill whoever I need.
And it's just like, it's actually like quite beautiful to like have him sacrifice that for Billy. Oh, and like when Billy dies, I'm like, this is crazy. This is nuts. Like the stakes. The stakes of like they fail. And it's not like, like we're always gonna win if we believe in friendship. It's like they're like they fail and they come together as a team and succeed.
Their most unifying moment was when they had their worst failure.
Yeah, and that's really great. Like that's like it's empowering.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, is it cheesy that Billy was brought back to life? Whatever. Sure.
Oh, but the way they did it.
But the way they did it was so good. And, like, I feel like that's, like, a more realistic take is, like, yeah, we fail all the time. Yeah. And so, like, I like when movies accept that failure and then, like, change it into, like, empowering instead of, like, man, I didn't do it because I didn't believe hard enough. Yeah. It's like, they're like, man, I failed. Like, I'm at fault. Like, and then they change. They have this development as the characters. So
exactly. Well, and it's like, in the end, what they needed was that Zordon would trust them and that they trust each other. Well, they've proved that they trust each other because they finally go and take on Rita without even knowing that they can morph. Right. That takes a lot of guts. And then Zordon goes, you know what? It might actually be better that I don't come back, even though I could pop off as the Red Ranger, than to just let you guys and like be you. And I just trust that the morphing grid didn't get it wrong. And I'm just sitting here going like, that's some depth for a freaking Power Rangers movie, you know?
It's amazing that we're saying this about Power Rangers.
So like, that's what I think. Like, I almost felt like ashamed when I first saw this movie because I was like, oh, this is making me feel some things, and like not in like the like, oh, it's Power Rangers, let's go. It's like, holy shit, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
this
is
that
deep.
Was like, all right. It's like when your parents finally are like, you know what? I can't force everything you do. Because that's like pretty much the whole story is basically like parents and kids and like, just trust us. Like, we don't know what we're doing, but like, let us try. And then when you finally are like, okay, I trust you, and then there's this beautiful moment where Jason gets to save his dad for the first time, and he gets a chance for his dad to not basically like judge him. And there's just some like deep stuff here without it being like overly slap.
Yeah.
You know?
This movie honestly is better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
It's insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it's like a 7 out of 10 Power Rangers movie, like, listen to yourself saying that.
A 7
you know
out of 10.
I mean? Like,
a Power Rangers movie made me feel something other than laughing at it.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a masterpiece
because
the
it's
source material is just ridiculous.
It being a 7 out of 10 is a 10 out of 10.
Yes,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah.
I understand why this is in our movies we love.
Come on, dude.
I get it. I get it. And, like, I'm just like, and I'm not even, like, a huge fan. It's like, I liked it. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. And, like, I know nothing. I don't care about Power Rangers.
Yep.
It's like, this is just a good story. And it's just like, I don't know how much better this is going to get.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, you should not reboot this, but just try to see if you can get everyone back and do a sequel, because
I would love that.
It's not that far removed. It would be 5 years by the time it came out. Big whoop. Yeah, they're all kind of bigger now, but who cares?
Man, freaking people were. Tobey Maguire played a high schooler.
Yeah, no shit.
That's
like a 35-year-old grown ass man.
We're okay.
We're gonna be fine. Yeah, no, exactly. The other thing I wanted to say was the other things that just made this movie like super authentic. So Billy does end up dying.
Oh.
And they do the well, you've already said it, so I don't know why you're acting surprised.
No, I'm like I'm saying like, is this something?
Oh yeah.
Spoilers, dude.
No,
spoilers.
No, not from the show.
Okay.
The Stand By Me cover.
Oh, it's goated.
Dude.
Tears.
This is the first time I heard. It might have been made for this movie. I don't know, but it's still like on
that
my
covers. Oh, goated.
Dude, come on, for a Power Rangers movie?
I know.
And then
it's hard. It hits so hard.
As soon as he dies to like when they morph, that is just it's
Mamma
worth
mia.
the entire hour and a
Those
half.
2 chef kiss, ladies and gentlemen.
2 right here, baby. I mean, like,
it was worth it all.
You're sitting here going like the full length of an actual movie, like 90 minutes, it takes before they fully morph. And that cover of that song, the emotional like setting,
Come back, yeah.
Zordon going, there can only be one of us that comes out. I trust you guys now. Billy's worth saving. Let's morph. And then the slow-mo walk with like the dopest look. Like they went all in on the suits.
Oh yeah.
Give him like this cool like really like skin tight like dragon scale looking armor where it's not like it's overly like thick. It's not these like morph suits.
Yeah.
But then it's also like armored, but also looks alien.
Yeah.
Dude, they nailed it.
When
dude.
they walk out and they're like, don't.
And there's like that synthy like. It's like, oh, dude, let's go.
It was sick. It was sick.
Dude.
I got pumped.
See,
Nick.
that's what I'm talking
pumped,
about.
Nick.
The fact that it can do that for people is just like, are you kidding me?
And I'm like, let's fucking go.
I know you have
it's just
to.
like, and I'm talking about this for Power Rangers. Like, what
It's
are you
Power
talking about?
Rangers. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, in some ways, this like got me as jacked as like sometimes watching like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But almost like maybe sometimes even a little bit more. Like except for like the big ones.
Like Endgame or whatever.
Yeah. Like apart from that, you know, still they're just good, well-earned emotional beats of this movie. Where
It
you're
works.
just like,
Yeah.
you did it. You killed it.
And we're talking about, let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, we're still talking about Power Rangers.
Yes, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Power Rangers. Yep.
Go Power Rangers. It's Morphin Time.
Yep.
It has a heart. It's got a heart.
Yep. Okay, so I have 2 more things that I need to share.
Please continue.
Going back to when they all are being honest with each other. Kimberly finally has this like come to Jesus moment where she's like, I need to repent of what I did. I did something awful. And Jason looks her in the eye as a guy who's literally done bad things on purpose because he just needs, like, his whole arc is, I can't handle the pressure of being the best, so I need to do something so everyone knows that I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you did an awful thing. It doesn't make you an awful person. Everyone needs to hear that.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to hear it.
That's literally like, I heard that line and I'm like, so Jesus?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, then let's just get to the let's just get to the good part.
It's all build up, ladies and gentlemen.
Goldar's taking down Krispy Kreme. Num num num. That's
Yeah,
like time
the
for
Krispy Kreme is the highlight of the movie.
It's so good.
This Krispy Kreme must be very important.
Yes, it is. Very. He's shoving them into like the crack of the earth that he's created. They're like, we're gonna die, but we're dying together. Sacrificial, just they love Angel Grove, even though Angel Grove hasn't loved them.
Yeah.
Also, beautiful like poetry of like, let's fight for the city that's shit on us this entire time. Let's go, love it. They morph into the Megazord.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Rita Repulsa. Rita's like, I'm not going down without a fight. They slap her into space, dude. This movie does not give an F about anything. They slap her into space. She freezes to death.
Mwah. Chef's kiss.
It takes itself so seriously and then not as serious. Like, it's so well balanced. I can't even describe
Perfectly
to you.
balanced.
Like, you have this like really intense moment that was way too emotional for anything Power Rangers, and they nailed it. And then you literally take Elizabeth Banks and you slap her all the way into outer space, and it still somehow works. This movie's insane.
Take my money.
I don't know what else I need to say. This movie's great. I was hoping to see the Green Ranger, and for them to at least have... This could have easily been like a two-part movie.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a trilogy, but I think like give us one more with Tommy. Maybe they have to fight the Green Ranger, turn them to their side, get to do one more last hurrah, and then they like pass their morphing like things to another set of kids.
Dino time.
Ugh. Love this movie.
Yeah, it's great. I would love to see another one. I hope that they continue with this characters, but even what do you do? What do you do as a reboot? What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I think you have to look at this movie and give it its props, but I think what they'll end up doing is kind of... it's Hasbro, so I think what it'll end up feeling like is a Transformers film.
Yeah.
The first one had a lot of heart, and it was kind of focused about how the humans and the Transformers kind of can work together. And then the rest of them were like, humans get to be in this story, but it's really just about the Transformers, which makes sense. And blah, 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 blah. And so I think what they'll probably end up doing is they're either going to make one that can kind of capture the same thing, or they're just going to be like, look how cool these suits are. It's time to kick
It's Morphin Time.
It's Morphin Time.
Yeah, it's going to be like, we've been Power Rangers, and we're going to just... Or like, we got it in 30 minutes, and then we got into our suits, and we had to fight, and 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only reason this is 2 hours is because they cared.
Yeah, they took the time, and like, yeah, what you said about like, man, it took like an hour and a half for them to get into their suits. It earned that.
Yeah.
It earned that.
Like, it used to be my biggest complaint when I first watched this film, and now I go, it's kind of one of its strengths.
It is. It really is. Because if it's like an hour and a half or an hour of them fighting, it's just like, how do you do like, man, we lost. Okay, well, now time to be this other...
Yeah, I mean, I get the argument of maybe it would have been cool if they could have had like one regular fight and then they morph one more time instead of it being morph, fight, now getting Zords, now do the big thing, like all of it at the same time. I get it. But that's why I think it just needs a second movie. I think this all made sense pacing-wise. Mm-hmm. Now just do another one where they can morph, and then maybe they need to like do a... Kind of like in the first Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie, it's like maybe they need something extra. Like either another Ranger or a special weapon. Like a lot of the shows, they'll eventually juice up and become like a Super Ranger or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whatever. Because they'll have like a sword, but then maybe they'll like get special armor or something.
Sure.
more merchandise.
Yeah.
You know.
More dollar bills.
But my pacing of it was like, I just love this movie. I need to tell people about it, so I was just on a roll. Do you have any final thoughts? Because I've obviously said a lot of things.
Oh, I mean, like, I just share a minority of your sentiments of like, yeah, this movie's great. It's way, but I went into this movie like, man, this movie's gonna suck. And I went there. I don't know. It was cool. I saw it with my dad. It was just a fun movie to watch with him. And like, I was watching it today. And I'm like, man, it was really fun to watch this with my dad.
There it is.
So like, I had this like, I don't know. I had this weird sentiment with this movie. There was a summer where like, when this summer came out, like I saw this movie and like my dad and we saw a lot of movies together that summer. So maybe that has something to do with it. But also like, this movie has no right to be a 7 out of 10. It's a 5. It's a 4. It should be. That's like a Power Rangers movie. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a 4 or a 5. Max.
Mm-hmm.
So to be like this, to spend that time with the heart and be like, hey, we're going to like do Breakfast Club. But at the end, you get a pretty cool fight sequence.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah. No, it took everything in me not to pick this for the 2017 movie draft.
Oh, wait, what else was...
Well, I think there were just other, like, quote-unquote movies that, like, everyone would, like, enjoy more. But it's just like, yo, if you want some heart, dog, and you want some, like, Rita getting slapped into the moon, baby, I got you,
If you said 2017, if you said Power Rangers for 2017, I would have laughed at you.
I knew you would have.
But after this episode, I'm like, maybe he's right. Wait, what? I can't even remember what our 2017 movies were.
I don't know either.
Hold on.
So long ago.
We do too many freaking... I can't remember what we did last week, dude. Hold on. 2017. Let me look at it. 2017 movie draft. Oh. Jake picked Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home 2, baby.
So, okay, Logan. For your action, you picked Jumanji. I picked Wonder Woman. Thor Ragnarok was in there.
It wouldn't have, like...
You could have put... for your list, you had action as Jumanji, comedy I, Tonya, Billboards for drama, Happy Death Day for horror, sequel Thor Ragnarok, your Kingsman, the Golden Circle for wild card. If you put Power Rangers on that list, yeah. I don't like Golden Circle, but...
I know you don't, but I think overall more people saw that and would enjoy that movie more than this. But...
I guess.
I also kind of have, like, this extra desire for Power Rangers to be good. I don't think a lot of people, perhaps maybe only the people that are going to Power Rangers are like, well, I know what I'm getting.
That's fair.
I don't know.
I don't have a desire for Power Rangers to be good at all.
I'd be curious to see, like, what critics went into Power Rangers hoping they would get. Because if you're going in like, well, it wasn't an Oscar performance, it's like, well, what were you looking for?
Yeah.
Because that's not...
freaking Power Rangers,
yeah, it's Power Rangers. It's like, well, Zordon, best supporting actor goes to Bryan Cranston for being a face in the wall. Like, I don't know. Like,
no, it's not going to happen.
But if you're looking for the most heart, I think you got a nom right here, baby.
Nom, nom, nom.
A nomination.
Oh.
Or a nom nom.
I'm going to refer to all Oscar nominations as Leonardo DiCaprio gets that nom, nom, nom for The Revenant.
Yep. But who knows? This might be one of mine that are like, here's the like right pick,
right,
and then here's the like Nick pick.
There's like a guilty pleasure, like,
yep.
But like, this is why we have this category of why we love movies, folks.
Yeah,
is because like a movie that just like affects you so much and like it's just like encapsulates kind of like you and like your past and like your history and your movies and the movies you've watched that have impacted you so much. And like Power Rangers. Yeah, is it the best movie? No, no, it's not. But like, is it the most impactful to you?
Yeah,
that's what we're here to.
Exactly.
That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, and we don't even know. The jury's still out if it's the best movie ever made. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's just not like answer that question tonight. Like, let's like leave it up open.
Yeah, no one. It's impossible to know if one of the two hosts of this podcast absolutely loved this movie and another one thought it was really good, or another one thought it was fine.
But I think I might have persuaded you to like it a little bit more.
Yeah, I went from a 7 to
7.25.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go!
For a Power Rangers movie.
That's higher than I ever thought I would
Yeah,
rate this movie.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Ugh.
good. It's good.
I doubt any of you have heard a review for 2017's Power Rangers. But you now heard from us, not us, United.
That's right.
There you go, everybody. Power Rangers. Go, go.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Yeah, that's the theme song I know and love.
See ya.
You've just listened to Not Us United. You can find us under Not Us United on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please leave us a review and consider subscribing to our podcast. You can reach out for future podcast topic suggestions at notusunitedpod@gmail.com.